Hey friends, it's Lacy. So we're doing a little testy test here just to make sure everything is working because I had to do some last minute tech switch up here. So I'm going to press play on this and make sure I can see myself. Oh, good deal. I think I can. Can I hear myself?
Yes.
Yes, I can. Yay, it works. I'm so excited. So I'm a few minutes early here. I have to tell you this webinar, man, I've been going through some crazy stuff to get here to you today. Since I have a couple of minutes before we're officially supposed to start, I thought I would just tell you guys some of the craziness that's been going on. First of all, over the weekend, my mother-in-law had a heart attack, which was very scary. And she was in the hospital, and at first we thought it wasn't very serious. And then on Monday, my father-in-law called and told my husband he needed to get down there. They live in Santa Fe. And so suddenly I was looking at, oh my gosh, I might need to leave and go be with my family on Wednesday when I'm supposed to host this webinar. So Monday night, I recorded it. I guess it was good practice. I mean, I recorded it for myself and for you guys in case I needed to play it instead of being here live. Luckily, she's doing well. They're doing a procedure today to determine, what the next steps are, but they don't need me yet. So here I am. But then after that, so I thought, oh, no problem. All is well. I can do my webinar, no problem. Then my daughter came down with croup. So my 5-year-old is in the other room watching PBS. Right now, I think she's watching Peg Plus Cat while you and I have a conversation, which is pretty fun. I mean, she's a good kid. So, we'll see what happens. She's probably going to be just fine. I'm like looking over there. She's probably going to be just fine. But, if a small person comes in, you'll know why. Thank you. Thank you guys so much, Deneen, Rochelle. I appreciate it. If you see me looking down, I've got my iPad so I can see your comments. But I have that it's the top of the hour now. So I think we will go ahead and get started. First of all, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm incredibly excited to have you here. This is, in case you're wondering if you're in the right place, the webinar is called The 5 Reasons Your Content Marketing Doesn't Work and How to Fix It. Because we don't want content marketing that doesn't work. We want content marketing that works. We want it to be fixed. We want to do everything we're supposed to do. So I'm pulling up my notes right now. In the meantime, let's do a little housekeeping. First and foremost, I want to let you know if you are here live with me, I'm very thankful, and I like to reward my action takers. I like to reward my people who come and watch live. And so we are doing something totally new that I've never done before. I'm going to do a giveaway. If you stay to the very end of the webinar during the Q&A, I'm going to do a giveaway. I'm going to give away, let me show you. I have a brand new copy of Natalie McNeil's new planner, Conquer Your Year Ultimate Planner. It's super cool. It breaks down the year. It's undated, so you could start at any time as soon as you get it. And it breaks down the year into 2-week sprints with planning pages to help you plan your 2-week sprints. I think it's a wonderful, if you saw my blog post on Monday, I think it's a wonderful complement to what we do here. And so I'm giving away a copy of this gorgeous planner. I can't tell, it's backwards on my screen. I don't know if y'all can see it backwards or if you see it forwards, but I'm giving away a copy of the planner. If you'd like to win it, what you need to do is hang out till the very end of the call, and I'll ask you to post your name in the chat so that I can do a random number generator, and we'll give it away to somebody who stays till the end. So yay. Hi, Sean. Hi, Katie. Hi, Adrian. Thank you so much for being here. Hi, Wendy. So that's the first thing I want to let you know. The second thing is that there are bonuses. at the end of the webinar. So if you guys stay, there's some free, exciting stuff. And also right underneath the chat box, hi Lucy, there is another bonus. This one's totally free for anybody who comes at any point, whether you're watching it live or on the replay. You can download your free editorial calendar template. Be sure to open it in another tab so you don't lose me. But you can grab your free editorial calendar template as a little surprise bonus for you. And I'll be going over a little bit how to use it later in the webinar, okay? So without much further ado, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to share my screen, and you guys will probably see crazy infinite monkey screen here for a second. Okay, I'm going to switch back to my comments and make sure, can everybody, I'm going to present to everyone, and then I'm going to make it full screen. All right, can everyone see my slides full screen? Can you give me a heads up if you can see my slides full screen? Let me know that you can see me, you can hear me. I think y'all can hear me because you're talking to me, but we want to make a double check, double sure. So this is the Content Revolution webinar. Oh, good. Hi, Nicole. Hi, Angie. Hi, Erica. Lucy. Yay. Okay, good. So this is the Content Revolution webinar, and you are in the right place if you are here to learn about the 5 reasons your content marketing doesn't work and how to fix it. Because Lord knows we don't want to leave you, in the lurch. We want to make sure. A few little housekeeping notes. If for any reason the screen gets blurry, if you're having trouble with the video, try refreshing your page first and foremost. Second, if you are still having trouble, you can look for the little link to YouTube in the bottom right-hand corner of the video box. That should help. And if you can watch it live on YouTube as well. Also, if the slides are a little bit blurry, a lot of times that's your internet connection. There's not much I can do about that for you, but usually the slides are less blurry in the replay. So if you feel like you missed something, you can always come back and look at it in the replay and it should be less blurry. Also, just so you know, I'm on my own today. I don't have anybody monitoring the chat box for me. So you guys are welcome to chat and talk to each other, but just know that I may not see your questions. So if you have a particular question, hold it until I'm asking for questions, and then I'll be sure to see it, okay? All right, so what we're going to cover today, we're gonna start out with the 5 reasons your content marketing doesn't work, hence the title, right? And then we're gonna go into how to fix them. We're gonna give you some real actionable ideas about how to fix your content marketing. We're also going to talk about what is the difference between blogging and content marketing. I'm going to show you the #1 way to easily overcome these problems and how to create a profitable content plan for 2017. Emphasis on the word profitable. Am I right? Yeah, I think that's what we all want right now, right? So in case you are new and you don't know me, I'm your host, Lacy Boggs. I am the director of the Content Direction Agency. And I've been doing this for about 4 years now. Before this, I was a journalist. I was the editor or associate editor of a local magazine here in Colorado, and I won a couple of awards from the Society of Professional Journalism for my food writing, of all things. But about 5 years ago, I left my magazine job to have a baby, the one who's currently 5 years old and in the other room watching Pride Plus Cat on PBS. And, when I left my job, I decided, of course, I won some awards for food blogging. Duh, I should be a food blogger, right? Well, that business flopped spectacularly. I didn't make hardly any money from that business. But what I did do was figure out how to write a blog and also how to build an audience. I was able to build an audience really well. I had just picked the wrong niche for selling them anything, which is a problem. And so I thought, well, I'm pretty good at this blogging thing. Maybe some other people would pay me to blog for them. Oh, yes. Turns out people were very excited to have me blog for them. And so that's when my ghost blogging business started. People were hiring me to blog, but almost immediately I realized that they wanted more from me than I knew how to give. So I started educating myself. They were asking me questions like, What should I post? How do I get more people to read my blog? How do I get more people to buy my stuff by using my blog? I didn't know the answers. So I went out and started taking every course and reading every website I could find about content marketing because, you know, I was a pretty good writer. I was a pretty good journalist, but I was not a content marketer yet. So I spent hundreds of hours and thousands of dollars educating myself about content marketing. And as I went, I realized that a lot of them were missing some key information. And over the years, through working with some of my 6- and 7-figure clients who had built these empires by using content marketing and were hiring me to help them continue it, I started developing my own system for understanding how content marketing can drive sales for really just about any business. I can't think of a single business that this doesn't work for. So I haven't met one yet that this doesn't work for. So anyway, that's what I decided to start teaching other people how to do this content marketing thing. And one of the first things I realized is that there are some serious roadblocks that I see pretty frequently standing between you and having profitable content. Okay, so today we're going to start out by going over what these 5 roadblocks are. And these are things that these are the most common reasons I see that business owners aren't turning their content into sales. Okay, so these are what we're going to go for first. And as I'm going through these, I'd like you to think about which one of these most represents you and your problems that you're facing. I'd be really interested to know which one of these resonates with you the most. Okay, so roadblock number 1, you don't have a clear reason for blogging. Okay, this is really more common than you would think. A lot of times I find that business owners start their blogs because somebody told them they were supposed to, or because they see other people doing it, but they really don't know what they're supposed to be getting out of it for their business. And when you don't know why you're blogging, it's really hard to measure if it's working or not, because you don't know what you're doing, right? You don't have any clear goals or any way to know whether what you're doing is working or not. So a lot of times when I ask people why they're blogging for their business, I get some pretty vague answers. They'll say, you know, oh, I want to grow my audience so that more people know about me. I want to become a thought leader in my space. I want to build a community. And those are all good reasons. I've got no problem with any of those things in and of themselves. But what I always ask them is, how are you going to measure that? How are you going to know when you've built an audience? How are you going to know when you become a thought leader in your niche? And so it's very sort of vague and nebulous and not something that's leading directly to what we all want as business owners, which is sales, right? Building an audience sounds like it would be a good idea, but an audience doesn't necessarily mean that you're making any sales, right? The number one reason we do content marketing is to get more traffic to our websites in order to drive sales. And so for most businesses that I see, your why, when you get right down to it, is going to be more sales. You have to get on the why train maybe to get there. That's what I call it, where you just keep asking yourself why. So maybe you start out and you say, well, I want to build an audience for my message. Okay, why? Well, because I have a message I want to get out there. Why? Because there's people I need to help. Why? Because I want to sell them my program that's going to help them. Ah, ding, ding, ding. There we go. That's the real reason why, right? Because if making sales is not the goal of your business, you're not a business. You've got a hobby, not a business. Okay. So I just want to remind everybody that generally your first and foremost, your goal in any business is getting sales. Okay. And that should be first and foremost your goal of content marketing as well. So why do we need to know this, right? Well, you have to kind of work backwards to really figure out the major why. Okay, is to drive sales, but what else is going on, right? So I have 5 questions I usually have people ask to help figure out your why. Okay, the first one is, what is your mission with your business? Second is, what is your business goal with your blog? Third is, what is your core message that you want to share? Fourth is, who is that ideal reader that you want to share it with? And 5 is, what is your promotional plan? How are you going to get this out there? If this seems familiar to any of you, it's because these line up with the 5 W's that I sometimes talk about, the who, what, when, where, and why of building an editorial calendar. But it's really, you have to know all these things. You have to get this stuff figured out in order to understand your content marketing strategy with any real clarity, right? These will help you understand how you're going to take people from being just a reader to a customer. So let's talk about how I would fill these out for my business, just to give you an example. So to start out, my mission is to make blogging easier, more efficient, and more effective for every small business owner. Okay. My business goal right now is to get 10,000 people on my email list by the end of 2017. My core message is that your blog can support your business goals with every single post, and I'm your secret weapon to help you achieve that. My ideal reader is a female small business owner or solopreneur who's in the problem-aware stage, meaning she knows there's a problem with her content marketing, but she doesn't know how to fix it. And my promotional strategy, where I'm going to do this, is I'm going to share it on my blog. I'm going to share it inside my emails. I'm going to share it on my social channels like Facebook, Twitter, G+, LinkedIn, Pinterest, etc. I'm going to share it on podcast interviews and on my own podcast. And I'm going to share it on webinars like this one. So what does all that information tell me? Well, when I know my goal, in my case, getting 10,000 people on my email list by the end of next year, it helps me define what the steps are I'm going to have to take to get there. So I can work backwards to figure out how to get there, right? If I know I want 10,000 people, okay, how many is that per month? How many is that per blog post? How do I get more people to sign up through my blog posts? What strategies can I use there to do that, to generate more leads? Know what my mission and my message are, then I know what I'm going to share on my blog to help make that goal happen. So I can get, any fool with a credit card can get leads. You can buy them through advertising. But what I want to do is share my message and my mission to make sure I'm getting the right kind of leads, right? So that helps me with my content marketing as well. And I also know that that I'm speaking to that female business owner, and that I'm going to be reaching out through these particular channels so that I can tailor my message to who I'm reaching, right? So take just a second and figure out, jot down some answers to how you would answer these 5 questions. And you can share them in the chat box if you choose to. I'm going to switch back over there and look at it. But take just a few seconds and start filling out a couple of these. So decide if, what's your mission for your business? Hopefully you already know that. Who are you helping? What's your business goal from your blog? So can you put a number to it? Uh-oh, no slides. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Hang on. People are saying no slides. Can we see slides now? Denise is saying she's showing the slides. I can feel it. Thank you for your faith in me, Denise. Can we see slides now? Chris is saying woohoo. Yay. Okay. I'm sorry about that, guys. Let me see if I can. You're just going to have to, I guess, look at my keynote here. I'm sorry about that. I guess this is better than nothing, though, right? Okay. So okay, back on track. If you need to refresh the page, that might help. Okay, it says they're showing my whole desktop. Let's see here. Can you see me now? We're going to try this again, okay? All right. Cool. Tracy's saying she can see the slides on my YouTube channel. People are saying they can see them, they're just not full screen. Okay, that's good. Well, we'll just leave them not full screen because I'd rather you be able to see them somewhat instead of nothing at all. Were y'all just watching me talk before? That's kind of crazy. Okay, so sorry about that. Glad I checked my comments. So here we go. So now we're going to talk about what are some of your 5 answers to your 5 questions. I got to get back in the mode here, people. So what's your mission for your business, right? What's your business goal? What do you want to do with your blog? Are you trying to get more leads? Are you trying to get a certain number of leads in a certain amount of time? What core message are you trying to share here? Who's your ideal reader? And where are you going to share it? You can jot these down separately, but if you want to share some in the chat, go ahead and do that. But this is the basics of your why, and the why is the basis for everything. So you have to have your why in order to know what's happening, right? You got to know. So that was our roadblock number 1, is that you don't know what you're trying to do with your blog. Roadblock number 2 is that you are using the wrong metrics or no metrics at all. So I would like to see a show of hands. How many of you are tracking metrics for your blog? It could be anything. A lot of people will track how much traffic they're getting, how many views they're getting. You might be tracking how many likes you're getting on Facebook, or how many shares, how many times people click on Facebook. If those are the things you're tracking, those are what we call vanity metrics. And that's really not going to help you a whole lot, because things like, I hate to tell you this, but Facebook likes don't have any correlation to sales. And that's a problem, right? So depending on what your goal, your business goal is that you talked about in roadblock 1, the metrics you may be tracking may not be the right metrics. Okay. Now, if your goal is leads, then the metric you need to pay attention to is how many leads are you getting with each blog post. And there's easy ways to set that up with Google Analytics and other things. But the idea here is that you have to know where the finish line is in order to know whether or not you're on your way there, right? So if I told you we were going to have a race and then I just yelled, go, but I didn't tell you where the finish line was, are we walking, are we running, are you supposed to get in the canoe, can you take a taxi, where do we end up? If I didn't give you any kind of information about it, how are you not going to know when you win or when you lose? You're not going to know, right? Because there's no way to tell. You don't have any metrics to judge your success. So metrics are the creative limits that help us judge our success. And we really want to make sure that we're looking at the right metrics, not those vanity metrics like Facebook likes and clicks. Because I really think a lot of times you've been sold a bill of goods when it comes to blogging, because so many people talk about that traffic is the most important thing. And I very much disagree. I love this quote from Tom Martin. He says, an audience will make you famous, but prospects will make you rich. I'm going to say that again. An audience will make you famous, but prospects will make you rich. And what he means by this, is that we have to make sure we're reaching the right people. A lot of women I talk to in particular want to build a community. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to build a community. But to Tom's point, is that community going to be an audience for you, or is it prospects? Because again, if you have a business, then your goal is sales. And that means you need prospects. You could have a huge amount of traffic, but if none of them click, if none of them buy, then what is that audience contributing to your business, right? So this kind of brings me to number 3. It's not about attracting the right people. Attracting more people. It's about attracting the right people. So roadblock number 3 is that you may be blogging to the wrong audience. And boy, this happens a lot more than you would think. And if this is where you are, I don't want you to feel bad, because it's happened to me more than once in my career. The real thing here is that, you know, somehow you've built an audience, but these people just aren't your people. And the main reason is usually that they aren't ready or willing to buy what you're selling. And that's a hard place to be in. That's where I was when I was doing my food blog. I had an audience, but they weren't ready and willing to buy what I was selling. And that's very, very frustrating. Let me just tell you that from personal experience. So, you know, when you talk about what you wanting to build your community or grow a community of like-minded women, I have to wonder if that's really what these people want. Because when pressed, of course, most of these people want to make money from their business, probably more than they want the audience they're talking about. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but if someone asked me if I wanted 1,000 paying customers or 10,000 people listening to me but not buying, I think I'd pick 1,000 customers, right? So if you're creating content to build your audience, you may be writing to the wrong group. In other words, for most of my followers, the people that come to me, writing to the prospective client or customer is much more important than writing to the general masses. It's more important to write and promote content that converts and not just content that's popular. It's more important to write and promote content that converts than content that's just popular, okay? So think about websites like BuzzFeed and Board Panda and even Huffington Post to some extent. You know, they're all about getting the clicks, right? They write those headlines that grab you and is like, oh my God, this celebrity got so fat, or see these 12 things you should never ever eat. Number 6 will shock you. Those kinds of titles. Those kinds of websites are a different business model than you and I are because they're supported by advertising. So anytime they get you to click a link, they're making money. Whereas you and I have to go an extra step, right? That first click is not enough. If we get them to click on the article, we then also have to get that second click to do something else for us to make money. Maybe that's sign up for an email list. Maybe it's get on a call with us. Maybe it's buy a product, but we have to get that second click. Yes, we have to have traffic, of course. If we have 0 traffic, we have 0 leads and 0 sales. But traffic isn't the total goal. Getting the right kind of traffic that converts into leads is the goal, okay? So when you're blogging to support your business, as opposed to blogging as a business, which is what, you know, BuzzFeed and those kinds of sites are, having the right traffic is more important than having a ton of traffic, okay? So finding that right audience, finding those 1,000 true fans is way more important than getting like 10,000 or 1,000,000 viewers, okay? All right, roadblock number 4. I'm going to switch over to my comments real quick and just make sure y'all can still see me and that nothing crazy is happening. Okay, some people are tracking the basics. Adrienne says she has Google Analytics, but she hardly checks it. I'm with you. I understand. It's scary. Okay, roadblock number 4 is not leading people to the sale with your content. So this is a big one. I think a lot of people, when they're choosing what to blog about, they're not thinking about putting it in a sequence that's going to lead people to the sale, okay? So even if you get your why right, even if you get your metrics correct, even if you're blogging to the right audience, if you're not doing number 4 and leading them to the sale, your blogging is not going to support your business the way you want it to, okay? So best blogger in the world and still not make a dime if you're not creating a path to the sale for your reader, okay? And this is, everybody does this. I have a client right now who has multiple 7-figure businesses, and a few months ago, I guess, she emailed me. She normally gives me the topics we're going to write about, but she said, I have a hole in my content calendar. Can you help me brainstorm some ideas? And I said, sure. What are you going to sell next? Aha. And then she had this, she was like, oh, of course, that's what we should be blogging about. So we brainstormed some topics about how we could lead people into her next sales cycle. So it doesn't matter if you're in the multiple 7 figures or the multiple 2 figures, which is where I started out. You have to be blogging to lead people to the sale, okay? So I like to tell people to imagine your content as stepping stones to the sale, okay? So picture that your customer's on one side of the river and the sale is on the other side of the river, but you have to get them across, right? So if you put too few stones, they're not going to make it. They're not going to make the leap from one side of the river to the other. If your stones, your content stones are scattered all over the place and don't make any sense, you're going to lose them. They're going to fall in the river, or they're going to get bored and go back on the other side. They're not going to make it to the sale, right? But when you line up the content deliberately to create that path, you're much more likely to get the sale, okay? And this is a good place to remind all of us that very few people are going to do well putting a buy now button on a blog post, okay? It's just not, blogging is not a good medium to ask directly for the sale. For most of us, we're leading them down a path that might include email, it might include a phone call, it might include a sales page, you know? So for the first few stones are going to be on your blog, and then they have to opt into an email list. And then the next few stones are inside your email list, right? And then maybe that final stone is a call or a sales page. And that's how we're going to get from one side of the river to the other side where the sale is. Okay. So then the last roadblock I want you guys to think about is not promoting beyond your audience, your existing audience. So again, you might be writing the most amazing blog posts ever, but if nobody sees it, does it make a sale? The answer is no. No, it does not. This is not one of those tree falling in the wood things. It does not make a sale if you are not promoting it, if nobody's seeing it. So you have to make that effort to promote beyond your existing audience. Whatever that looks like for you. There's lots of different ways to do that, but you have to make the effort. You have to you know, share it on social. You have to get outside your normal audience. You have to get in front of new eyeballs. So if you're just sending it out to your list and sharing it to your existing fans on social, you're not reaching new eyeballs, and you need to get outside of that audience and reach some new people. The fact of the matter is that your new people are the most likely to buy. So you need to be constantly reaching out and filling that end of your funnel, right? I mean, that's just statistics, but there it is. That's the truth. So now I would really be interested to know, which one do you think is your biggest roadblock? Which one is holding you back the most right now? I'm going to remind you what they were. So number one was not being clear on why you're blogging. Number two was having the wrong metrics or no metrics at all. So you don't know if it's working or not. Number three is that maybe you've somehow started blogging to the wrong audience. You're blogging to the audience, not the prospects. Four, you're not creating your content to lead directly to a sale. And five, maybe you're not promoting yourself outside your own audience. So put down in there number 1 through 5, which one do you think is the biggest roadblock for you guys right now? I'd be really interested to see. I'm reloading my chat right now. Yeah, Erica's saying 4 and 5. Number 5, number 4. Kathy, you're still, or Katie, sorry, you're in the multiple 2-figure stage. No, I'm with you. I have, I have been there. I've been there. A lot of people saying 5, 3. Yeah, you guys that are saying 5, be sure and stay until I mention the bonuses, because there's a bonus that you're going to want to see. Yeah, 4 and 5. Okay, that's good. Alyssa says metrics. Well, that's good to know where you guys are, because I think once you have clarity around where it's getting bottlenecked, what it's not working, you'll have a much better path towards clarity to make it work. Am I right? So now what I want you to do is I want you to imagine this. I want you to imagine, you know, now that you've identified where your roadblocks are, I want you to imagine what your blogging life will look like once you have a strategic framework to follow that shows you not just what to write about, but when to post it, and most importantly, why. I mean, maybe it's just me, but I feel like there's a lot of blogging programs out there that tell you what you should do, but it doesn't seem to line up with exactly what the author of the program actually does. I actually went the other way when I created my system, because I created the system first for myself and my clients. So it's what I use for my own content marketing, as well as the marketing strategies for most of my high profile ghost blogging clients. And when I created this system that I'm about to show you, I created the tool that I needed to get a handle on all the moving parts of my content marketing plan, you know, and I still use it every single week. I use it to create content calendars for many of my clients. And some of these people are using their content to drive 6- and 7-figure online business empires. But let's ask the question, how are they doing that, right? It's easy to say, yes, they're using content to drive their empire, but how? How are they doing those things? So I want to show you how this works in my business with a clear-cut example. So maybe you guys saw some of my Facebook ads that were talking about the $10,000 blog post. Earlier this year, I wrote a blog post that did really well, even by my normal standards. And it was a roundup post of content upgrades. Those are like mini lead magnets that you create for a blog post. And that one post brought in over 200 leads in the first week it was live by alone. And that was more, overall, it brought in more leads for me than any other blog post all year long. And I figured out that that post alone by itself was worth over $10,000 in potential revenue to my business. Now, how did I figure that out? I multiplied out the leads that post generated for me by the value per lead for my business. So it's a pretty easy little equation here. It has to be easy because I'm not that great at math. But what you do is you take your revenue for the year and divide that by how many leads you have, how many people on your list, and you come up with your value per lead, okay? When you know your value per lead, you can determine how valuable anything you're doing is that generates leads to your business, right? So go ahead and play along. If you guys know generally what your revenue is for the year and how many people are on your list right now, you can do this math real quick and figure out what is your value per lead, okay? So when I did this, it meant that blog post I was talking about added a potential $10,000 to my business. It added enough leads that that's $10,000 in potential revenue that I gained from one blog post. And once I figured that out, I realized I could measure and track what every blog post I write is worth to my business. And suddenly, woohoo, blogging becomes a lot more exciting, right? It makes those weekly, that hour you spend, or 2 hours, or 6 hours for some of you that you spend writing your blog posts, a whole lot more valuable and worthwhile. So I encourage you to try this out. Figure out what your value per lead is, and then see what the value of a typical blog post is. Okay? So if you know how many leads you typically get from a blog post, what is a blog post typically worth to your business? And then I want you to ask yourself, what if I could double that? What if I could triple that? How much would that be worth to my business on a regular basis? If I were getting 2, 3, even 10 times the amount of leads every single week from my blog, what would that mean in value to my business? And when you figure that out, I think you'll see that blogging can be an incredibly valuable enterprise, right? So it's adding all kinds of potential revenue to your business. So I'm going to pause here for just a second and see if there's any questions that are coming out of this $10,000 blog post idea. It's not, I'm not putting a buy now button in my blog post. This is potential income that you're seeing here, but it shows how valuable a blog post can be. Nicole says her shop isn't open yet, but she has 29 subscribers. That's pretty good, honey. You got nothing to sell, but you got people waiting to buy from you. I don't see anything wrong with that. So what we're going to do next is I'm going to show you how my system will support creating these incredibly valuable blog posts, right? So step one, you always have to start with a calendar. And this image here that you're seeing, this is just a screen grab of the editorial calendar template that I'm gifting you. That is below the chat box. There's a link. So the idea here is that you start with your calendar before you decide what you're going to talk about, before you brainstorm, before anything like that. You want to start with, what are you doing? What are the big rocks? Are you having a sale? Is there a holiday coming? You know, what are the big rocks that you need to know about in order to plan your content, right? So the way this works is that you have to work backwards. Rather than brainstorming what you're going to write about first, you look at your calendar. And the first step in content planning for me is always looking at my calendar and seeing what I've got going on, right? When I'm launching something, I know I want my blog content to get people thinking about that topic. But even when I'm not technically launching anything, I can use those blog topics to drive people's interest towards a particular product or service that I want to sell. So this will work for you whether you sell pottery or consulting services. You know, even if you sell something that's available all the time, you can say, well, I know I want to sell these heart-shaped pots for Valentine's Day. So I'm going to put a push on for Valentine's Day for those, or whatever it might be, right? So for example, when I know I'm launching a product or a service, I know that I want to start getting my readers thinking about it about 6 to 8 weeks before I'm ready to launch it. And by plotting that out in my calendar, I can easily see that I need at least that many topics around that, whatever my product is, in order to promote it, right? To get people ready to buy. I also always fill in the big holidays like Thanksgiving and Christmas for 2 reasons. First, I might want to tailor my content to talk about something to do with the holiday. And second, I want to remember that I might need to write ahead if I want to spend Christmas with my family instead of blogging. So I always put those in there as well. And once I've got my launch date or my sale date or my holiday, whatever it might be, filled in, I work backwards to fill in the why column. In other words, the goal of why I'm writing each post. So for example, you'll see in this image, I might create an action post when I want them to participate in the sale, saying, come here, the sale is live. I might write some desire posts to help generate desire before the sale. I might want to do a real attention grabbing post first and foremost so that I get new eyeballs, that, you know, new audience outside our regular audience that I was talking about. I'm going to take a sip of tea here. So then once I have my calendar filled out with dates, my next job is to brainstorm like a crazy person, right? So I know of a bunch of ways to brainstorm really great ideas, and I share a bunch of them in my program. But one of my favorites is eavesdropping, where I'll go look at other people's blogs, their comments. I even go look at the reviews of books on Amazon. And I want to see what people are asking, what questions people are asking. I want to see where the holes are in what the other experts are teaching. That's where I'm going to find the topics that people are really excited to hear about, right? So using that technique, I can come up with 50 blog post ideas or more in about an hour. So it's really easy to start generating ideas once you know where to look and how to tell what your readers are really interested in. So after I brainstorm, I start to sort, filter, and analyze. So as you can see from this picture, I like to say what product the blog post topic is mostly about. And then I want to give my why, right? Why am I writing this particular post at this particular time? Where does it fit into that path I'm going to lead people down to get sales, okay? And because I do this in Excel, in that template I gave you, I can sort. And then once I have them categorized and sorted, I can instantly see if I have any holes in the sequence, right? So if I only have one attention post and I need more than one, I can brainstorm some more ideas right there to fill up that category. I will also sometimes take my top ones and run a poll on Facebook or Twitter to see what my readers are most interested in hearing about from me. And then we schedule. So we go back to the main calendar page and we start plugging it in. So if we know when we want to have a desire post, we just go find a desire post from our brainstorm, We plug it in where it goes, right? That's pretty easy. And in just a couple of hours, I can plan out 3 or 4 months of blog content, including a content sequence to support a launch, almost painlessly. So it becomes a very simple system once you understand the steps to get there. So I want you to ask yourself, what could that kind of content planning system do for your business? What would it do for your business to have a consistent system for adding new leads, which will drive value for your business? I think this is a super valuable skill that I don't see being taught pretty much anywhere else, really, because most of the other blogging programs I see out there are about teaching you how to drive traffic, which is what we talked about earlier. You have to have traffic, of course. They're teaching you how to get the audience, but I want to teach you how to turn that audience into prospects. Remember, it's less about getting, 10,000 people to visit your blog and more about getting those 1,000 people who are ready to buy. Okay? So to recap what we've been talking about, this is really about the fact that having a plan is more important than how much traffic you attract, especially at the beginning. Okay? I've cracked the code on this system that works to drive sales, and I've seen it happen both in my own business and in the business of my ghost blogging clients. And frankly, this is the fastest, cheapest way I have found to drive sales with content. And I've broken it all down so that you can easily follow it and apply the system to get your own amazing results in your business. Because the way I figure it, you've got 3 choices, right? You can bootstrap this and do it on your own and figure out your content strategy on your own. And you know what? If I have given you enough information in this webinar and in my e-course and with that template that you can do this on your own, well, Godspeed. I mean, I am happy about that. Part of my mission is to help educate people. So I am thrilled if I have been able to give you what you need to DIY, go for it. That's awesome. Don't leave the webinar yet, though, because we are giving a giveaway at the end, so you want to stay, right? Your second choice is to outsource. You can hire somebody to help you do your content marketing strategy. You can hire me. I do that. It'll cost you a couple $1,000s, but you can hire me. This is best if you have more money than time. If you are strapped for time and need somebody else to do this for you, it's a great idea. I will warn you, though, don't just hire somebody to write your blogs without having the strategy in place first, because then you're just wasting time and money. Or your third choice is to learn from an expert, namely me. In this case, you can learn the skills you need to do your own strategy. And then you can learn from my trial and error, from what I spent hundreds of hours and thousands of dollars learning how to do, and put it to work in your own business. And so the way that I have put this together for you is my course that I've created that I'd love to offer to you guys today, if it's a good fit. It's called Content Intelligence Academy. It's for small business owners who need to create that content strategy that will lead their customers down the path to sales. And if you're ready to learn more about it, there's a big red button underneath this webinar that will take you to a page with all the information. But I am going to tell you the basics here right now. And remember, for those of you who stay through my, I promise will not be a painfully long sales pitch. We're going to do a giveaway, hopefully right around the top of the hour. So Content Intelligence Academy is an online course. It's hosted entirely in my private membership site. You get lifetime access to the course, and you get any upgrades or updates that I make to the course once you buy, which is good because I'm always iterating. I'm always adding things that I've learned. I'm always adding bonuses. So once you buy, you're in for life. You get everything I ever add to it from here on out. It includes everything you need to create your own strategy and become your own content strategist, no matter how big or small your business is. It teaches you how to brainstorm topic ideas your prospects are dying to read about. It shows you how to organize them into that content calendar. And that will help you understand not just what to write, but when to write it, and most importantly, why, so that you're creating that path to lead people to sales, okay? So Content Intelligence Academy includes 5 guided audio lessons with complete transcripts. I do this for my different types of learners. Some people like to listen. Some people like to read. We got you covered, okay? Every module comes with next action worksheets that help you work through it and get to your action steps, what's actually going to help you move forward with your goals and make this happen. And then there's a ton, literally a ton, of bonus videos, ebooks, templates, including ones like the editorial calendar template, but other ones as well, and interviews with incredible online marketers, including Tara Gentili, Megan Frady-Flatt, Natasha Vorompiovia, Shay Baxter, who's an SEO expert. So they're filling in some of the blanks that are not my area of expertise to help you get a really full picture of what to do with your content marketing. Okay, so there are two options you can take advantage of today. This is new for me. I've usually only offered the DIY course, which is Content Intelligence Academy, the classic version, if you will. But for the I offered for beta with a select group, small group of entrepreneurs last month, what I'm calling CIA in one day, and it went so well that I decided to open it up to everybody this time around. Either choice, you get immediate access to the audio modules, the worksheets, the bonus videos and interviews, all that good stuff. You get a bunch of cool templates, including 201 blog topic prompts already done for you. You get the perfect blog post template. You get a video that walks you through exactly how to use the editorial calendar to its best advantage. You get all the bonus interviews. You also get access to our private Facebook community, which is a wonderful resource. There's a bunch of smart people in there. If you have questions, if you want people to look over your content or your content calendar, that's the place to go. It's a very tight-knit, exciting community that I'm thrilled to be a part of and be able to lead with you guys. And if you decide to do CIA in one day, it was really designed for the person who's looking for a little more accountability and a little more support. So what it is that we go through the information included in Content Intelligence Academy live together in a small group format in one day. In this case, it's going to be January 11th, which is a Wednesday. And what happens is in the morning, we go through all the teaching. I teach it all live. You guys are there in a very small group. We limit it to 10 people so that I can give everybody the attention they deserve. And you get an individual review of your content marketing plan in the afternoon. We do hot seats. And really the focus of that one is on taking action and completing your content strategy in one day. So if you find that you are having a hiatus from buying courses because you never complete them, this is the option for you, because we get it all done in one day. You've got me there going, hey, do your calendar, and we get it all done. You get it approved by me and it's ready to go. Okay, so let's talk about bonuses. So I told you guys at the beginning that for those of you on this webinar, you were going to get some cool bonuses. And for those of you who were doing number 5, the promotion roadblock, perk up your ears and pay attention because this is for you. So I'm offering today a quick decision bonus for my action takers. It's available for 24 hours only. So if you make a purchase between now and 24 hours from now, you will get these 3 workshops that I put together over the summer, and they're very cool and very valuable. They're all between 90 and 120 minutes, so hour and a half to 2 hours long. The first one is the blog promotion workshop. So my colleague Beth Hayden and I got together and talked about what's actually working in blog promotion these days that does not cost money. We did talk a little bit about Facebook advertising and Pinterest advertising, but if you're on a very small budget, this is a great way to learn what's really working with promotion right now for your blog. The second one is the JV Webinars Workshop. This is exactly how I grew my list. I tripled my list in under 6 months. I went from 1,800 people to over 5,000 in under 6 months by doing JV webinars. And I spell out exactly what I did. You get 11 email swipe files, include everything from how to pitch a partner to what to have them send to their list, to what you send to people that sign up, and how to follow up after the webinar, the whole thing. Plus, my Infusionsoft expert, Jamie DeBose, is on that one as well, talking about how to set up your email funnels for webinars to get people to show up and participate. And the third one is the Content Upgrades Workshop. So I talked a little bit about content upgrades earlier, but they're mini lead magnets that you put on your blog post. And If growing your lists and getting more leads with your blogs is your goal with your blog, then this is the best way I know how to do it. And so I lay out everything I know about content upgrades in that bonus. So altogether, these are a $240 value that you will get 100% for free if you sign up for CIA or CIA in one day in the next 24 hours, okay? So what's the investment? I know that's your question. Content Intelligence Academy, the DIY version, is $199. You get immediate access, but you get to work at your own pace. So if you want to, you can do it all in one day, just like we do, or you can drip it out over time when you have the time to take the action. You get everything we talked about plus the bonuses. CIA in one day is $399. It's a one-day live with me and 9 of your closest new buddies. It's taking place January 11th, which is a Wednesday, so you do have to be free, be able to clear your calendar for that day. And you also get everything that's included with the regular Content Intelligence Academy and the bonuses. Okay, so really quickly, how do I know that this is going to work for me, right? I know that some of you are probably asking that question. And I'm going to switch back to my comments now so I can check and see if there are any actual questions. But I just want to show you what some of my past agents, my graduates of the Academy, have had to say about this program. This is Mariah Dolan. She was one of the people that took it early along, and she was saying, for whatever reason, I felt good about starting my business, but I felt so overwhelmed because I didn't have a plan or a means to get going. I felt disorganized. If I don't feel organized, I feel paralyzed. I know that feeling. I don't know if y'all do. I knew I needed some sort of calendar, but I didn't know how to start that or what to do. That's why I was so thankful to have found your strategy because it got me unstuck. She uses hers for video blogs, which is pretty cool. Sarah Greer says, one of my favorite parts about the strategies I learned was how to create my marketing calendar and lead up to a promotion. Sarah is a fellow copywriter. And so I was incredibly chuffed when she decided to take the program and when she told me that it was useful to her. So I was extremely excited to hear from her. Some other happy customers. This is James. He's my accountant. I put this one in here just to show you that even if you think your business is boring, you can still use this program. Accounting, I don't know, maybe it's exciting to James. It's a little boring to me. But he said, I want to share some awesome news over the last 2 days. I've had 140 entrepreneurs sign up for his free course. He's going to give him the paid offer. He said, I even got a blog post comment asking me to write more. This stuff works. I love that. I thought it was hilarious. Priscilla, who I think is here, she's even talking me up in the comments. Thank you very much. So that the feeling of having an editorial calendar alone was worth doing the program. Let the games begin. Next, Anne was saying that she got so much from the first module alone. Finding my why with the exercises that were spot on brought instant clarity. And Lisa was agreeing with her. Yes to the clarity. It's literally cut through years of me going in circles in just a few minutes. Still shell-shocked. Alessandra actually bought the program and then procrastinated on it for a year. She says, it might have taken me nearly a year to actually get started on this course, but it's been so helpful. If you blog for business or even pleasure and you want to free yourself from the eternal what do I write now question, go buy Lacy's course. It's smart, honestly pretty easy to do, and liberating, which I love. Kate says she loves it so much because it made the blogging about the writing again. Simple marketing structures, ideas, and options to get even better at using your content for your benefits. Andrea was saying, I love the if you were to write a book exercise. I couldn't believe I could come up with one chapter topic after another. Maybe I should write a book. Module 2 alone provided way more than 20 topics for me. Sarah was saying, maybe it's because I have so many questions, but I feel like the personal attention has been above and beyond. And Deidre was agreeing. So I put these in here to show you guys that there are a lot of different people that take these courses and a lot of different businesses, but it works for everybody. I haven't had anybody come back and say this just doesn't work for me. And if you feel that way, I'm always there to help out. So now is the time then that we do questions. So I'm going to switch back here. I'm really sorry that the slides weren't working earlier. But thank you for sticking it out with me. So again, if you see me looking down, I'm looking at my comments on my thing here. Let's see. How many hours of audio approximately are included in the course? You know, I've never added it up. There are 5 main modules, and it's not hours worth of audio for each one. I would say they're half an hour or less for each module. And then you probably need an hour to maybe 2 hours per module to do the exercises. So, you know, like I was saying during the program, it might take you an hour to brainstorm a whole bunch of things, but that's an hour well spent, right? Once you do it once, you only have to do the brainstorming and the different exercises. Some of them you only do once, period. Other ones you only have to do once, say, per quarter, depending on how much you're planning at any given time. But there's also, beyond those 5 main lessons, there's quite a bit of additional content. So there are, let me think here. Those bonuses are each about 2 hours each. There's also a bonus webinar I did with Natasha Vorompiovia that's about an hour. And then each of the additional interviews are between 15 minutes and 45 minutes. So I've never added it all up actually, but that's a good question. Overall, the time it'll take you is maybe an hour to 2 hours per module to really get going. As I said, when we do it live, we can do the whole thing in a day. It's a full day, but we can do the whole thing in a day. Vanessa would like to know, is it specifically made for writing content? My ideal client doesn't have time to read long blog posts. So my content marketing strategy, I'm thinking of doing more videos than blog posts. Great question, Vanessa. This will work for any kind of content. It'll work for videos. It'll work for podcasts. It is geared towards blogging, but everything I teach in there is totally applicable to whatever format you want to do. In fact, Mariah, that first testimonial I shared, she was doing video blogs, and she was saying how it helped her get really organized so that when she was doing it, she knew which video to shoot, and then she could hand them off to her editor and then know which one to post. You know what I'm saying? It got very organized so that she never lost track. Because video requires a little extra, right? It adds a little stuff. So that's a really good question, Vanessa. It is useful for any format you choose to use. Let's see. I'm a copywriter and I offer content marketing to my clients, but would this course help me come up with content for my own blog to try and land new clients? Yes, it will, because it's something I use for myself, and I'm in the same boat, right? So I'm not just teaching it, I'm also a working ghost blogger. So I use this for my business. I use it for all of my businesses and the businesses I support. So like I said, I've never found one that this doesn't work for. If you want to try to stump me, go ahead. But yes, definitely. If you're a copywriter, you can use this to come up with blog posts for your clients. Oh, Stacy had to run. Bye, Stacy. Wendy asked, can you explain attention, interest, desire, and action a little more? Yes, I can. But this is basically the cornerstone in the program. So it goes into it in extreme detail inside Content Intelligence Academy. But real quickly, attention is a blog post that's going to grab attention from people outside your existing audience. So these are the kind of posts that get shared a lot, that hopefully go viral, things like that. Interest is what's going to hold their interest. This is that second click content I was talking about. So these might be how-to posts. They're a little more in-depth, or they're going to entice people to sign up for your email list. Desire posts are going to generate desire for your product or service. A lot of times they might be case studies, or they might be sort of like, imagine what your life would be like if this problem was solved for you. Those kinds of blog posts. And then action sometimes comes in the blog, or sometimes, as I was saying, comes in the email. But that's when you're actually asking them to take an action, which could be sign up for my email list, but it also could be the sale is starting, come click here. So that's quickly what those are, but that's the main meat of the course, is explaining those and how to use them to line up your content to get to a sale. Let's see. Yes, somebody's asking whether there'll be a repeat. As soon as this is done, the recording will be here for people to listen to. So yes, there will be a repeat available. Danine's asking, do you feel using the content calendar limits the flexibility of a topic of interest? So no, actually, I find that using a calendar frees me up to be more creative. And one way you can do this, Danine, is if you're worried about plotting out your topics ahead of time. Let me give you an example. This is a great way to explain it. So I had a client named Jacquette. She's a financial planner, and she likes to write about things in the news, so financial topics in the news. And so she was concerned that she couldn't do a calendar for her topic since she tries to be so timely, right? So what I told her was to go ahead and plot out those whys, the attention, interest, desire, action. And then you don't have to pick the what. You pick the why, so you know where you are in your cycle, but you don't have to pick the what until that week. So she could look at the news that week and say, okay, I need to find some topic that will help drive desire for my service. So then she has a format, she has a structure for her calendar, but she can still choose her topics on the fly. So I think it's actually, it helps you be more creative. You're not just sitting there staring at the screen going, oh, what do I write about this week, you know? It helps prevent blogger's block, I like to say. Let's see, Katie asks, the editorial calendar works great when you have a product to sell and lead up to a launch, but what about when you're not currently launching anything? That's a great question. So you can create sales cycles the same way you would for a launch, or you can just create things that you want to talk about. So a great thing to do is if you do launch, but you're in between launches, you should always be talking about objections. It's great to talk about what are those objections that keep people from buying, and how can you get them out of the way with content, okay? Another great one is to solve level 1 problems. So if there's something they need to know before they can buy, that's a great thing to do in between. And another thing is if you have an evergreen product, so you don't launch, you just don't, like the pottery person I was talking about earlier, you can decide what you want to push at any given time. So as a good example, I'm working with a fashion company right now. They don't have launches per se, but they can say, hey, we have a whole lot of pants in the warehouse. We'd like to push pants. So I can write posts about pants that will help push those, drive sales to that product at any given time. And that might be holiday driven, or it might just be what we have in stock, or it might just be, it makes sense in the summer to sell shorts and in the winter to sell pants. So I know what my topics are going to be that way. I hope that kind of answers your question. Someone's asking if the slides are available. You know, I have not made them available, but if you'd like to, I can save them and put them up right after I'm done here. So if you'd like to just come back to this page in like half an hour, I'll have the slides for you. Happy to share. Okay, so I don't see any more questions right now. So what I want to do is, if you're still here, we're going to do the giveaway for the Conquer Your Year Planner from Natalie McNeil. I see that there's 49 of you watching. So what I want you to do is, if you're still here, put your name or put I want it or something in the comment box. I'm going to do a random number generator and give this away to someone who's still hanging out with us today. While you guys are doing that, Adrienne, I've got a couple more questions here. Lucy's asking, how do you schedule sales? I'm refocusing my business and basically starting from scratch. Okay, Lucy, well, it depends what you're selling, but I would start with, what time of year is it? What are people naturally thinking about? So, you can think about right now, Christmas, obviously, but in the new year, New Year, think people are thinking about resolutions, doing things to improve themselves. February is all about love, maybe spring break in March, summer vacation, back to school. I would schedule them around things that people are already thinking about. If you can find a way to sell your product with that angle around something that people are already thinking about, that's a great way to kind of get in the zeitgeist. You know what I'm saying? So that's really good. Ooh, lots of people. Yay, planners. Okay. Wait, I'm trying to go back because there was one more question. Ooh, so many people. Good. Yay. I'm glad to say. Okay, here was the other question. What if, Adrienne is asking, what if all of my clients are word of mouth? That's a great question. the question I would ask you, Adrian, is that how you want to continue? If you are a service provider offering a high-end service and up through word of mouth referrals, that's awesome. And you may or may not need to blog. I'm going to be totally honest with you. A great way to do your blog, if that's the case, is to create case studies. Mainly do just desire posts kind of things, showcase your work. It could be a portfolio for you. But the flip side of that is if you're not filling up from word of mouth referrals, then I would consider using the blog as an engine to drive new leads. So there's two options there. It just depends on how it works. You know what I'm saying? So I hope that kind of answers your question. Okay, I'm going to go over here and get my random number generator ready. Okay. We are looking for and my winner is, hang on, I'm counting. Tracy Glass, you are my winner today. So Tracy, what I want you to do is go ahead and email me at hilacy@lacyboggs.com. Email me your mailing address, and I will send you your fabulous planner. Congratulations. The rest of you, you're all still winners in my book. And don't forget, please, if you're considering Content Intelligence Academy, the bonuses expire in 24 hours, so you definitely want to take action on this. Ask yourself, are you going to spend another year wasting time and money on content marketing that doesn't work? Or are you going to put together a strategy that's going to drive sales for your business through your content? I want to help you do that, okay? So if you have any other questions, I'm going to hang out in the chat box for a few minutes below. For the guest who was asking about the slides, I'll save those and I'll get those uploaded for you here in just a few minutes. So just come right back to this page and they'll be up in a few minutes. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, guys. I had fun. All right. Talk to you later.